In a certain place, there lived two tigers who were very close friends, almost like brothers. Even though one tiger was large and plump while the other was thin and small, they remained close and always sought out adventures together. One day, while they were roaming around the countryside, they saw a farmer who had left a bucket in front of a barn. Curious, they approached the bucket to see what was inside. However, because the bucket was too large, they couldn't see what was inside it, and without thinking twice, they both jumped into the bucket. It turned out that the bucket was filled with milk. However, they couldn't get out because the sides of the bucket were too slippery. They could only swim inside, trying to escape, but all their efforts were in vain. After an hour, the plump tiger said to his thin friend that there was no use in continuing to swim. He felt that they were just going to drown and die. He believed this was the end of their journey, with no hope and no one to come to their rescue. But the thin tiger firmly replied, "Hold on, my brother. Keep swimming, there will surely be a way out as long as we don't give up. We won't drown and die if we keep trying." So they continued swimming without stopping. Even though the sun began to set, their spirit didn't wane. Eventually, the plump tiger felt exhausted and hopeless, saying he couldn't go on anymore. He believed there was no point in continuing to fight and decided to give up. He stopped swimming, sank into the milk, and eventually lost his life. The thin tiger was deeply saddened by the loss of his friend, who had been with him since they were young. Tears filled his eyes, but he remained determined and continued to swim even more vigorously. After what felt like an eternity, around midnight, he realized that the milk in the bucket had turned into butter because he had been swimming non-stop. With joy, he jumped out of the bucket and returned to the forest. He had survived, but he still felt great sorrow for losing his best friend. The thin tiger realized that he couldn't save his plump friend because his friend had given up on his fate. He understood the importance of not giving up in life because we can never truly be defeated as long as we keep trying. Years later, the thin tiger married a tigress and had many cubs. He named his cubs after his fallen friend as a tribute. Every night, he would tell his cubs the story of his friend who gave up, so they would never give up when facing life's challenges. Life is indeed full of challenges, but we must be strong, wise, and always grateful for what we have. Never give up, because as long as we don't give up, we will never be defeated. Thank you for listening to this inspiring fictional story. I hope we can all learn something from the tale of these two friends.